For equality of opportunity, the government has also passed, for example, the Matthew Shepard Act, which makes discrimination against homosexuals a higher offense, making it so employers can't discriminate against homosexuals.
In New Jersey, there was the Mount Laurel case where New Jersey Supreme Court ruled that all towns have to set aside a certain amount of housing for low-income families, so they are allowed equal access to housing and better their equality.
Thank you. Despite some of the things that you mentioned, affirmative action to bring more students of color into college, for instance, or into wage, minimum wage was also mentioned, Head Start was also mentioned. There still seems to be a huge lack or disparity between those who can go to college and afford to go to college and who don't, or who early in life are not able, for lots of reasons, not able to succeed. Can you tell me maybe how about your ideas on some of the things that the United States government could do or that we should do to maybe narrow that gap?
I think it's our responsibility to improve the overall level of education throughout the whole country. Generally speaking, education is a means to get out of poverty, as President Lyndon B. Johnson argued during his Great Society plans. Keeping that in mind, if the federal government and federal and state governments cooperated to assist in developing primary education that is of high quality for everyone in this country, I feel it would do a lot of good for affirmative action programs.
I believe that the program called Citizen Schools is a good idea. I think it has a lot of professionals, a lot of recent college graduates go back to inner city schools and teach after-school programs to encourage children to have more participation in their school environment, because a lot of times these children are returning to neighborhoods of crime, neighborhoods of negative environments, and having them stay in school and participate in civic education especially is beneficial to our democracy as a whole.
Regarding affording higher education, as we are all attending college next year, one of the ways that we're affording it is through many government grants and programs. Personally, I'm receiving a Pell Grant next year, so I can afford college, and I believe that but these programs have caps, so I think that one of the ways we can do that is encourage the government to increase these caps on the programs.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Another thing, not only increasing the level of education, but I believe making sure that all children are able to receive the education. In poor districts, the government has passed CHIP, which is Children's Health and Insurance Program, ensuring that all children, even if they have the right vaccinations, to ensure that they are able to even attend this school.
You've come up fairly strongly for affirmative action. Do you suppose we as judges should give your team a little extra points because you are a more diverse team? Explore that a little bit, whether you'd be comfortable with that.
I don't think that's necessarily the point of affirmative action, because affirmative action is not supposed to discriminate amongst racial groups, so we shouldn't necessarily gain an advantage just because we are diverse. That's not necessarily fair, because that also depends on geography. Rather, affirmative action should be helping those who are truly disadvantaged and give them the opportunity to be able to coalesce with others and bring their ideas forth so that they are able to function in society and are not stuck in the same socioeconomic strengths that they are currently in.
Linda and Cheryl Brown, who were the plaintiffs in Brown versus Board of Education, recently stated how while we have desegregated schools, a lot of de facto segregation still exists, because in many urban areas, many whites are moving away, and therefore the cities remain at a lower income level, and therefore the schools there aren't as privileged as some of the other areas, and therefore the students, many minorities who remain there, have a disadvantage when they are attending these schools, and that's why we still need these affirmative action programs.
I do recognize your argument, though, for reverse discrimination, and the argument that it goes against equality of opportunity if we're to offer certain groups advantages over others simply because of past discrimination. I do recognize that, but I still believe that we have to make up for past injustices by doing whatever is possible to make sure that people have the same base from which to pursue greater opportunity.
I think it's also important to realize that even nowadays, we still have de facto segregation. In Mississippi, specifically in Tylertown, there is a school which is, I believe, 75% white, 25% black, in a town which has over 80% black population. These white students request to be put into a smaller white high school, and through a admissions process, only select the white students. So it's important to keep affirmative action because we're still facing the problems of segregation even today.
Tocqueville argued that Americans have struggled to reconcile the concept of equality with concepts of liberty and individualism. However, he noted that Americans, we value equality so much that we're willing to limit those other values so that we are able to push forward with equality and achieve a truly egalitarian society. Keeping that in mind, I think that Americans today still have that same virtue and that we wish everyone to be equal and are therefore striving to maintain that goal.
You spoke about the importance of federalism or as a possibility for increasing opportunities. Expand on that. Why does federalism expand opportunities? What evidence can you speak of that it shows that it does?
With the bounty of state, county, and local government positions, a lot of people are able to participate on a local level, whereas in more centralized nations, such as Great Britain, they really have to go through the party system in order to have any form of political participation, and that's clearly more difficult. In a society such as the United States, even in our town, there are a lot of even students participating in community boards. There are a lot of teachers who have teaching positions and also serve on recreation boards. So you see there's a lot of civic participation and engagement because people feel like it's much more easy to gain positions on a local level.